I was going to say good morning then, but it's actually 12 o'clock, isn't it, today? It's good afternoon, I guess. Is everyone in the UK ready for the absolute Betty Swallocks that we're going to have for the entire rest of the day? Cristiano Ronaldo's destination has been revealed. I'd say you won't believe which team it is, but considering that he was very close to joining Manchester City, you might do. You might actually believe which team it is. I think it's quite shocking, considering that he is a genuine legend at Real Madrid. Many people have him down as a legend at United. For me, I would say he's a Real Madrid legend. I don't know if you could be a legend at more than one club. Definitely a Real Madrid legend. One of the greatest players to ever play for Manchester United. But I see him as a Real Madrid player. He spent longer there. Scored most of his goals there. Real Madrid player, as far as I'm concerned. You're entitled to your own opinion. I think you should be a legend at one club, not multiple clubs. But that's just my opinion. But anyway, seemingly won't accept the offer from Saudi Arabia, 250 million for 2 years, which is fucking nuts, innit? But supposedly, according to Dario AS, also from Jonathan Trager, Atletico Madrid have emerged as a very, very serious contender. And Angelo Mangiante has also come out and said, he's a Sky Sports journalist, he's come out and said that Cristiano Ronaldo is close to joining Atletico Madrid. Honestly, I'm shocked. I'm not shocked he's going. I think I've been saying that for a couple of weeks. Once Ronaldo decides he's going somewhere, I don't think anyone's capable of shushing him and telling him to button it anymore. I think he is in control of his own destiny. And I think once he makes a decision he's going somewhere, off he goes. And then that's it. So I'm fully expecting that he leaves. And it sounds like Atletico Madrid are having it. Bayern Munich was one of the only other sort of destinations that was listed. And Bayern Munich are far too well run, I think, to bring in Ronaldo. I'm shocked. Some of the comments here has just said, Christopher's just said, I think they're baiting Real Madrid. I'll be surprised if that's the case. That wasn't the case with what was going on with Manchester City. George Mendes was up to something there with what happened with Manchester City. Manchester United weren't aware of it. And then as soon as United were aware of it, it happened. And it wasn't really anything drastic going on anywhere. Ronaldo going to Atleti is very, very interesting. In the circumstances that we find it, Stone420 says, how can Atletico afford Ronaldo? I'll be honest with you, mate. He probably isn't getting paid as much as Diego Simeone is. And that's 100% bang on, right? So let's have a look how much Simeone is. I think Simeone is on 700 grand a week. I don't think he'll be on anywhere near as much as Simeone is. They might just match what he's on at United, which I believe is something like 450, 500. Wild. Genuinely wild. I would have thought Atletico Madrid fans hated him and would have been certain of that. Wild. In terms of a transfer fee, I know some people have been talking about that. Actually, do you know what? My bad. I was meant to go onto this screen. Let's do it now. There you go. In terms of the transfer value, it's listed there at Transfermarkt as 27 million. No one's mentioned a fee coming to United. He is under contract, so there will be a fee. It's not going to be really worth writing home about. But yeah, I think, does this escalate the need for United to sign a striker? Yeah, we needed one anyway. We definitely needed one anyway, so I think that's the one. Will says, he's not going. Where have you got this from? You don't think he's going? Where have you got that from? Yeah, this for me is this is a bit of a shock, I must say. Not that he's going. I felt like he was going to go from the off. But the fact that it's Atletico Madrid, I do believe, a little bit of a shock. Manu Sainz is one of the closest sources to George Mendes, Ronaldo's agent, has come out and said Simeone would give the green light on signing Ronaldo, but as of now, it's not economically possible for the club. However, possible player exits could change that. So if Atletico move anyone on, then it might happen for them. Obviously, people say, oh, Atletico can't spend money, but you see how much Diego Simeone's on. Eduardo Lopez says he will stay. Honestly, I don't know what people are sniffing to think that he's going to stay. I really, 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 really don't. Ronaldo going obviously frees up a massive part on the wage bill for United, but I just don't necessarily United bringing in any sort of superstars. United have shipped off probably a couple of million off our wage bill this summer. Couple of million. Yeah, just a mad one. BMAX says so many club officials on here. Brocolona says ramen. We ain't going there, is it? What could be interesting though, if this does happen, Ronaldo playing in La Liga again, veteran striker. Also with Benzema flying the way he is at Real Madrid and Lewandowski now joining Barcelona, La Liga is like the home for geriatric veteran strikers that have still got 40 goals in them. So it's going to be extremely interesting. Inspector Woke says, Ronaldo's smart. He can always go to the Saudi club after 2-3 years left at the top level. They'll probably still pay the 250 million to have him. Yeah, I could see that. What happened to the loans of Sporting? What loans of Sporting? I've never heard of a loans of Sporting. Ricky says, glad he's off. Always love Ronaldo, but he stopped the progression of the team the previous season since he joined, in my opinion. Wesley says, swap deal for Sal Niguez. Hey, let's do it. Doyley says he's defo going to go. I think he's going to go. James Hammond says 47 million off the wage bill if the rumours are to be believed. That's sensational. That's prior to Ronaldo going, I assume, as well. Ronaldo versus Benzema versus Lua, says Fraser Wilson. Sir Alex won't let the GOAT go, says Patrick. I don't think Sir Alex has got a choice in this, mate. A couple of people mentioning a swap deal for Felix. That's an interesting one. I'm not sure on that one, but that is an interesting one. Ajinka says the problem that nobody wants him, Steve, is so he's not going anywhere. I think people do want him. People definitely want him. It's whether or not he wants to go. We know the Saudi Arabian club wants him and wants to pay 250 million to get him there, but he doesn't want to go there. This is interesting. I don't know. I get the impression this could happen. Not saying it's nailed on, not saying it's 100%, not saying run to the bookies and go and throw a load of money on it. I think this could happen. I definitely think this could happen. Grace says, when Ronaldo's team is winning, it's all about him. When they're losing, he wants out and cries like a baby. He needs to get his ass to Aussie and help the team. It's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen like that. How my legs feeling, our kid? Feel good, to be honest. They're not even... I have to sit down with my legs down in this chair at work. I've got a stool behind the camera over there to put my feet up on, but they've been swelling up like fuck, but they're all right today. We're trying to wrap up an early finish today, so we can all go and sit in the sun over in Northern Quarter. So if you're in Northern Quarter, come and join us. We'll be having a bev. Squeaky Weasel says, give him to Chelsea. I'd swap him and give his wages Kante in a heartbeat. I like Kante, and I would bring Kante to United in, without a question. But I don't know if he can play 50 games a year. He hasn't done that for a minute, I don't think. E. O'Donnell says, coming down for Glasgow for the first home friendly. Pint. Is that the one on the Sunday, 31st? 2 weeks yesterday, I think. I think I'm going to that one, yeah. Jordy Red says, first time I disagreed with you, Steve. I can't see him going. I can't see him staying. I can't see him saying the things that he said, or leaked the things that he's leaked, and still being here. I really, really, really can't. Dara says no one's paying 27 million for him. I think you'd be surprised. Let's have a look at the next one that we've got then. This is another potentially interesting one. Yuri Tillman. So what's going on with Yuri Tillman? Ben Jacobs from CBS has come out and said, Tillman's preference remains to leave this window. No formal bids, despite interest from several clubs, including Newcastle and Man United. Leicester still anticipate 25 to 30 million before the window shuts, and Tillman's would like the move. Ten Hag is a fan, and he was less convinced when Ragnick inquired in January. That's interesting, but he might reconsider under the new boss. Far easier negotiation than with De Jong. Now, I think this is probably only a backup for if the De Jong deal doesn't manage to happen, which is a possibility. I think we'll sign De Jong, but we can't deny it's a possibility that he can't extricate himself from this absolute shit show that is Barcelona, satisfactorily at least. I'm sure he can get out of Barcelona if he wants to, but if he wants to bring what he's owed, that might be more difficult. I don't think you're going to get Tielemans and Eriksen and De Jong all in one window. That's just not going to happen. As much as many people could even argue for, well, it needs to happen, it's not going to happen, especially when we also need to bring in a forward. It'd be a bit mental to be signing 3 centre mids, a left back that might be back up, a centre half when you've just been declaring your undying love for another centre half, and selling your centre forward when you've only got Anthony Martial, who admittedly looks good on pre-season, but let's be honest, we've been fooled before, and I am not going to go all in on Martial FC in pre-season just yet. I want to see more, and I still want to see us sign someone regardless. So not getting too carried away on that one just yet. I'd love Youri Tielemans at United. I think he's a player that would suit United down to the ground, but you can't sign everyone, and we certainly can't be signing everyone in this window. Mushfik says, dealing with Leicester always scares me. Now, the good thing is, dealing with Leicester in this circumstance, you know that he's only got 12 months left on his contract, so you're in a bit of a position of power. When's the next pre-season game? The next pre-season game is tomorrow, and I think it's Crystal Palace. So yeah, check that one out. Right. Benassa next. Benassa. I don't know how to say this name. So Italian outlet Calcio Mercato have got a little bit of a report on him. And honestly, this is a bit mad. I plain and simply don't believe this. But I'm going to read it, because this is in the news, and this is what we're here to do, is discuss what the news is, not what Steve thinks. So, apparently Ten Hag is considering a move for Ismail Banaka, in a swap deal that involves Donny van de Beek. Now, Donny van de Beek has not impressed yet so far on pre-season, and actually you could extrapolate that into his Manchester United career. After a week with a manager that knows him and trusts him and this, that, and the other, I would find it incredible if it was true that he was like, mag to grid him and get a player in that I don't know. And as I've just said, if you've got Eriksen coming in, you do manage to get De Jong over the line, it's a bit mad to be signing all these midfielders with so many other areas of the team that are glaringly requiring reinforcements in a big, big way. Previous reports claim Arsenal made a £34 million bid to sign him. Obviously, he left Arsenal in 2017. However, it appears that they're not alone in their interest, as Manchester United are now in the mixer for him as well. Interesting. Do you guys believe it? I'm not sure if I'm buying it just yet. Let me know in the comments, and we'll see how it goes. Rahman says, swap Wan-Bissaka for Dumfries. Swaps are hard. I'm not really a fan of swaps. Mr. B says, Tony, what are your thoughts? I said get him last year as a backup to Ronaldo. Wouldn't have been in this fucking position if they'd just listened, would they? Hey? I like Ivan Toney. I told you he would score goals in the Premier League, and he's coming in and he's scored them. So, yeah. I'd definitely be taking a little bit of Ivan Toney if he was available. But you know what they're like? I mean, Jesus Christ. It was on Twitter last night, people complaining that I said Charlie Savage got a play style like Carrick. Off their fucking nut. Brian K says, afternoon, Steve. How solid are the reports on Sangar? I don't know at the moment. It probably just sounds like nothing at the moment, in all honesty. Tom Smith says, the Barca have to sell De Jong for all these new signings to be registered, and does that mean none of them are currently being paid? They're probably all they're probably all at least pretending to get paid. Barcelona look like they're trying to ship off Memphis Depay. Saw a load of tweets asking me, would I take him back? No, would be the answer. But they're trying to let him go for 20 million. They need to ship off Frankie de Jong. They're just obsessed with the new shiny thing. That's the problem. They just want a constant new shiny thing all the time. And to me, it's mental. they're run so badly. How any agent can take their player to Barcelona at the moment, under the circumstances where all the players are getting absolutely shafted. It's an absolute fucking joke, honestly. Absolute fucking joke. Aran Siri says, do I think it's a solid idea to buy players for backup, or should we be concentrating on finding players who are starting 11 quality? Buying backup players is not going to improve your starting 11, is it? Our starting 11 has to be improved. You can only improve your starting. Do you know what the best thing is? To buy someone for the starting 11, and if it turns out they're not good enough, they're the backup. Don't buy players just for the backup sake of it when you're in desperate need of filling in the 11. Now, someone like City or Liverpool, the position they're in at the moment, they can go out and afford to go, do you know what? Yeah, I need a little bit of reinforcement in this area. But Manchester United need to improve the starting 11, so go and improve the fucking starting 11. Knight says Swiss Ramble did a good thread on their financials. I'll go check that out. Yeah, I'll go check that out because they're generally pretty good. Just a Lost Cause says, what's with so many Dutch players? I don't know. Maybe ask our Dutch manager. Chris says backup equals academy. And yeah, that's always an option, isn't it? Michael says United should have swapped Maguire. They won't have the issue with Ronaldo and De Jong. Would have been signed by now. I think De Jong is out of our hands. I don't think United are the problem here. I really don't. Andre says Belotti can be back up for free. Again, I would love to bring in Belotti. I would definitely look to try and do that one. But yeah, that's it for me anyway this morning. Nice one for tuning in. Cheers for checking it out. I think we should have highlights of this weekend's game against Duckenfield. It didn't go well. Sadly, it did not go well. So yeah, I would say check that out if you want. And we're playing Beatties this weekend. That should be an interesting game for anyone who wants to come and check that out in Manchester. It's on Sunday. Dirty Rack there has got a super chat. Let's see what he's saying. Are there any rules preventing us or Frankie putting Barcelona on a payment plan? Something like blah, 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 until the wages are paid off. No, here's the thing, right? If Manchester United sign him, then the contract that he has got at Barcelona is ripped up. So they will not pay him an extra penny. He deferred his wages until the last 4 years of his contract. Now, if he doesn't serve the last 4 years of his contract, he doesn't get that money. It was very, very clever and snide from Barcelona's lawyers and extremely naive from De Jong, his agent, and his lawyers, unless there's a clause that I haven't read about. I mean, obviously his contract isn't public. It's only what gets reported. Unless there's a clause in there which says, should the contract not run its course, then the deferred wages that he should have been paid in those first 2 seasons becomes owable, which is what it should have said. If it doesn't say that, he's absolutely fucked. If it's just very, very basically, which I'd be amazed if it is, but also mistakes happen in contracts. If it just says those wages are deferred for the last 4 years of his contract, then as soon as he is sold to Manchester United, that's it, game over. Barcelona don't owe him another penny legally. Morally, they absolutely do, but legally, they don't owe him a fucking penny. It's an absolute fucking disgrace the way they are run like this. They shouldn't have been allowed to run up this sort of debt. I mean, Manchester United shouldn't have been allowed to run up the debt that the Glazers lumped on us. They've run up their debt through operating costs. They haven't renovated the stadium to a large degree. They've just spent it on fucking wages and transfers. And that is fucking bullshit. Absolute bullshit. The fact that they are potentially staring at going tits up because of how badly they are run is a fucking disgrace. An absolute fucking disgrace. And the fact that they're still out here signing fucking players like nothing's ever happened is an absolute disgrace. Absolute disgrace. But, such is life. It's one of those, I guess, isn't it? But cheers for tuning in. Make sure to subscribe if you're new. There is going to be a preview for tomorrow's game coming out in a bit. So make sure to come and check that out. See you in a bit. Bye-bye.